Coming up on Popmuckers, John from Albuquerque reveals all. Facebook proselytizer. Things we do different in high school. And this just in. I just shot a man and disposed of his body in a nearby metal foundry. April Fools.
You are listening to the Popmuckers Comedy Podcast. And here are your hosts, Nate Henderson and Chris Cowan.
Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to yet another episode of Popmuckers. This is episode 25, brought to you April 2nd, year of our Lord, 2014.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I'm super stoked. Especially, you know what? You know why I'm super stoked?
Why is that?
Because next week, I'm excited about our next episode. I'm probably just going to be tuned out for this episode completely.
That's really good to know. It's good to know that you're bringing your A game to the table, Cowan. That's excellent.
But next week, I just booked a guest host that I'm super excited about.
You are quite fond of this gentleman.
Yes, yeah.
A little too fond, I might add. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I asked him to be the father of my children.
Right. He said no to that, but he graciously accepted to be on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah, which is very, very nice of him. So,
do you want to reveal who this person is?
Sure, might as well. It's syndicated national cartoonist Dan Ferraro, who does the Bizarro comic strips. I've mentioned him, I think, in past episodes.
Yeah.
And got to meet him in person a few months back. Nice chap. And he has agreed to be a guest host.
That is awesome. Very cool.
That's awesome. So
yeah.
Quant, while you're out, Quant, your shoes are being more than adequately filled.
Oh, what? He's gonna listen to this tomorrow. Quan, he's right. No, I'm totally joking. But it's good to know that I don't even have to show up next week if I don't feel like it, and you'll just be in, Dan heaven. So
yeah, pretty
that's
much.
Good.
No, please be there.
Yeah, please come here. We need a little
prevent me from saying anything stupid.
No guarantees.
Yeah. So it's time for weekly updates. What do you have, Nate? What's new?
Well, as far as weekly updates are concerned, you listen to different podcasts, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay. And you know, all different types of speakers. I heard something which kind of blew my brain up, and it wasn't what they were talking about. Okay. The speaker appeared to have a British accent.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a speech impediment as well. And I've never,
That's called an Australian.
Oh, that's what that was. He kept talking about dingoes and didgeridoos and... No. I've never heard a British person with a speech impediment at the same time. I've never heard that before, and that blew
like a lisp.
No, it wasn't even a lisp. It was like a combination of all three things. Like he came to America, and there's a couple things he still had from his country,
okay.
you know.
Cockney,
but he still kind of had the British, sort of thing going on. But then he had a Barbara Walters spin on it as well. And I'm telling you, man, poor guy, I could not concentrate on what he was saying because the entire time I was really trying to place, have I just not heard every single because I like dialects. Yeah. I like if I can possibly imitate dialects, I love doing it.
Well, can you imitate this one? It sounds like, what is it? Like New Jersey,
crazy.
Boston?
Like
Boston mixed with
No, like there
Cockney?
wasn't even a lot of American. It was like British, but then it was like when he said when he said anything with an R, we have to reach for the stars. But it was like in a British accent. I was just like, I've just never heard it combined. Because you think like British actors, you like British actors, man, it's like they can say anything. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. It's almost like every person that has a British accent can instantly act. That's just a given.
Oh, yeah.
Like they can act 100 times better than any American, or excuse me, American dialect sort of thing. But I've never heard one with a speech impediment, and that just blew my mind because I was like, they exist.
Yeah.
The British aren't perfect when it comes to speaking, So I guess it was a little comfort, but at the same time, I couldn't even focus on what he was saying. Poor guy. I don't know. It just was.
Well, they've
very
always
upsetting.
been good speakers because they always spell stuff wrong. Like if you ever try to get a British person to spell the word color.
That's true.
They add random vowels
they
in
throw
there.
a flipping U in there.
I think they add an X in there too.
That's
or
true.
Maybe that's the French.
So maybe their whole grasp on the quote unquote English language is a little bit more stunted than I give them credit for. So
glad your eyes have been opened to that.
they really have, man. I probably won't be able to listen to that guy again, unfortunately. But it's just so distracting.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to a podcast and you hear somebody speaking and they may have really good points and they may have something, but they're just not the best speaker.
None of our listeners have heard that. No, yeah. I hear that. I have heard that. There's actually a couple podcasts I've even listened to regularly, and actually still some that I still do listen to regularly. But the voice of the person,
yes,
I kind of have to just step over that and be like, okay, your voice is not a voice that I would choose for podcasting,
right.
But
maybe
your content is good enough that I will.
Their content is good enough
that.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So.
But I feel the same way about that. Who's that? He's on some of the AM news talk stations, and Dennis
Miller.
Dennis Miller.
Okay,
his voice drives me nuts.
Well, yeah, it's more of a smarmy kind of.
Yeah, but it's like it doesn't even. I don't know. I would not if I had to listen to his
I know what
voice
you're
out of
talking
a bunch
about.
of others.
Yeah.
I would not choose his as like a voice I would listen to.
It's certainly not very melodic, is it? It's not very.
No, it's kind of like nasally and stuff.
I hear you.
It's terrible.
That was a good example. Yes, I agree. So, what about you?
I have a couple updates, but I've got a super awesome one.
Oh,
April 1st, 2014. Homestar Runner returned.
Yeah, right.
No, I know what you're thinking.
I was going to see where you're leading with this.
No, I know what you're thinking.
Okay. Homestar Runner came back.
If you actually go to homestarrunner.com,
get out of here.
It has him and it has a Strong Bad kind of just talking about, hey, they're kind of back, but not really. So
is it?
They updated the site, and it's just a short little cartoon with him.
Because this sounds like something that site would do just to play an April Fool's joke, with no intention of coming back whatsoever.
Well,
but
they might not come back. They didn't. They were pretty vague about it.
So there's very vague activity on the Homestar Runner.
But if you
website.
just go to homestarrunner.com, instead of redirecting you to one of their many different main menus, it'll play a little cartoon for you in it. So
nice. Okay,
it's cool, and they even they'll even let you download a Strong Bad Windows 98 wallpaper. So
wow, that's something.
Yeah,
Windows 98.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So all right, so that brings us to what? Honestly, he's a regular listener now, and one of our favorites, one of our more vocal.
Yes,
and it's John in Albuquerque. And he yet again sent us a voicemail. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's a pretty good one. He makes some pretty decent points. So I will let John speak for himself right now.
Sounds good.
Hey fellas, John in the Cracky, as we locals call it, checking in. A couple things. You asked me to clarify, first of all, why I'm convinced you guys are conservatives. I have 3 points. Let me begin this way. Roman numeral number 1. I know you're conservatives because you have something called the Bible News Network advertised on your website. B. Your guest host actually owned you guys by calling you TBN comedians. Never has there been a greater insult levied against podcast hosts. And number 3, you all have the same $6 Supercuts haircut. Case closed, gentlemen.
That was good. That was good, John.
Yeah, that was good.
So, John,
Oh dear.
I think it's time we have a heart to heart. What do you say, Nate?
Hey, I'll follow your lead.
Okay. Did you have any thoughts on that voicemail? Any reactions you want to share?
Oh, I could quickly bullet list them, but you may.
No, I would like to hear your bullet list.
Okay, well,
if you got
number one,
anything.
as far as I know, there exist some liberals who read the Bible. I could be wrong.
You could
but
be wrong.
I'd like to think that there's at least one liberal out there that reads the Bible, maybe even goes to church.
Yeah.
Go figure. I could be wrong, but from his assumption that we made the Bible News Network, which you did, just because we're doing something with the Bible, apparently that automatically pegs us as conservatives. So go figure. I'm sorry, sir, but I stopped going to Supercuts over a year ago, and I am proudly going to Sports Clips now. So I'm getting more than just a $6 haircut. I mean, it's up in the $15, $16 range, I can say with pride. So swing and a miss, John from Albuquerque. I forget what his second point was.
It was the TBN comedians thing.
TBN. Now, who said that?
Michael. So I can
Please,
okay.
please,
So-
please, take care of that.
All right, so first, let me just thank you for taking the time to continue listening to our humble show, if only to tell us the things you don't like about us. I realize it's a great sacrifice on your part, but I mean, you got to do something with all that time on your hands, right? I would also like to say that this voicemail was probably the closest you've come to humor yet, and for that, I both admire and applaud you. Keep trying. You're starting to become a regular Carrot Top. And thank you for finally taking the time to explain why you assumed we were not only wealthy, but conservative Republicans. But let me address your points here. So yes, point. What was it? Roman numeral 1.
Yes.
Yes, we have the Bible News Network listed as one of the many quality shows available from breakroomstudios.com. So there's a little plug there.
There you go.
Technically, that's not part of the banner, so you sort of cheated because it's above the banner. But I'll let that slide. I can kind of see how that could lead you to assume we have conservative views. Though, as Nate pointed out, it's definitely not something that's limited to conservatives. And, if you check out BibleNewsNetwork.com, you might be surprised at what you find there. But either way, I can understand that one. I think point B was the TBN comedians jab. So our guest host last week, Michael, he didn't actually call us TBN comedians. Nice try, but we know that's not what he said. He said that what he did say was the brick wall in the background of our banner picture did make him think of TBN comedians. But here's the thing, though. You can't use that one. That wasn't one of the reasons you decided that we were, conservative Republicans.
That's right.
You only brought that up because he did, and like us, he was just stretching for some reason to explain your assumptions. But let's think about that comment for a second here. I disagree with Michael.
Okay.
The brick wall is like a TBN thing that they don't do anymore.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, the TBN, that's the...
I think
it's like a Christian
I think
network
so. It's
sort of
Trinity
thing, right?
Broadcast
Trinity
Network, maybe?
There you go.
There it is.
You nailed it
Okay.
right there. Okay, yeah. So I just don't track with it, so
Yeah.
I would imagine
I guess.
no,
but
not so
here,
much.
okay, so think about the most famous comedy club out there.
Okay.
What comes to mind?
Let's see. Well, I mean, there's the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
That's I believe in Southern California, and then there's what was the one in New York? I'm not super familiar with the names
All right.
of them, but yeah.
How about the Improv?
Oh, the Improv. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good one.
What background is the Improv known for?
What background?
Yeah.
Just improvisate. What do you mean?
No, the background of the stage.
Oh, I don't know. Well, you tell me.
All right,
What is it?
it's brick walls.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, and they're like the number one comedy
So
club.
some of the most renowned
Yeah.
comedians today.
And let me tell you, you will never see Bob Smiley at the Improv.
No,
All
you
due
won't.
respect to Bob Smiley.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Funny guy.
I actually know nothing about him. But
There's lots of. I've seen Bob Smiley.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. But as far as on the world stage of comedians, right now he has yet to be up there with some of the heavy hitters.
I'd say he's not
Yeah.
quite at the Brian
Yes.
Regan or
Yes.
Jim Gaffigan or Dave
If you've ever
Chappelle.
watched the show Louie, and I don't necessarily recommend that to some of our conservative audiences, you will actually see him perform in a comedy club, a very well-renowned comedy club. Of course, I don't even remember the name. Always in front of a brick wall. And
Louis
he's
C.K.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he's considered to be one of the world's biggest comedians at this point
Yeah.
right now. So,
oh, yeah. He's a comedic
so
genius.
the whole brick wall theory, I think, just kind of falls
Yeah,
apart.
well, I think that was just Michael was reaching for something,
Right,
and-
of course.
and that's all good.
Of course.
Okay, but here's the thing: the $6 haircut comment, I actually found that offensive.
That was low. It was low.
I spent $7 whole
Yep.
on my haircut and not a penny less.
Well, you had to include tip.
Yeah, and
so-
actually, no, that's not true. My wife cut it.
Okay.
And actually, that is a pretty interesting observation that all our hairstyles looked very similar in our photos there.
Right.
Nate, do you know why that is?
Uh,
Do you remember what we took those pictures for originally?
well, I think those were all like little glamour shots, right? For
Yeah.
our BNN
Or the Bible News-
for the Bible News Network. We had to
Bible
look
News-
like just cheesy anchors. And
Exactly.
that's, you know, so
yeah.
there you go.
But no, that's a
yes, and based on the
point.
conversation we're gonna have about
Yeah.
high school, believe me, it could have looked a lot worse.
yeah. But he makes a good point here because, as we all know, only wealthy conservative Republicans ever get cheap haircuts. So,
Right, that makes a lot of sense if we're totally loaded that we're dropping $6 on
Yeah.
haircut.
But really, though, I did think it was one of your better voicemails, John. So thanks for taking the time to explain your assumptions. But here's what this all boils down to for me. Mm-hmm. As you've demonstrated, John, you're the kind of guy who goes out of his way to make condescending generalizations about complete strangers.
That is true.
That's you. You're that guy. If you go out of your way to hate on somebody for no other reason than their conservative beliefs, isn't that sort of hypocritical?
Just a bit.
I mean, aren't liberals supposed to be the champions of open-mindedness, tolerance, and acceptance? Or is that only open-mindedness towards people who already share your mindset? Something to think about. But here's the thing. If you walk up to a group of strangers and using your serious, "Hey guys, I'm John from ABQ, and I'm going to make assumptions about you" voice, and at the end of the conversation, everyone else is laughing, but you're still using your "I've never met a happy conservative" voice, you've lost. Whatever it was you were going for, you lost it. Because you just cannot win if you're the only person not enjoying yourself. And we have enjoyed ourselves, and we've enjoyed you, but now it's getting old. So let's switch things up a bit.
Okay.
I'm going to offer you an olive branch, John. How's about this? You stop going out of your way to hate on people whose worldviews don't match your own, and we all just lighten up a bit, continue to enjoy life. We're happy to keep you as the loyal listener that you have become, and if you're ever in Sacramento or I'm ever in the Cracky, I'll buy you a beer. I'll talk about how I hate all the minorities and look forward to the day when global warming obliterates all life on our planet. And you can talk about how you think the government should be more involved in controlling every aspect of our lives. Or maybe we'll even talk about how we're both individual people with our own ideas, our own thoughts, who might not fit so comfortably into the little political boxes we like to put each other in. Have a great week, John, and thanks for listening. All right.
Wow. Now you put some
I put some thought into that one.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and that whole part at the end there about coming together, and actually just respecting one another.
Oh, that was bullcrap.
That was an April Fool's
Yeah,
thing,
that was
right?
bullcrap.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
April
yeah,
Fool's.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
all right.
sure.
Just wanted to
All
make
right.
sure.
So thank you, thank you, John. All right, moving on. Pop drops. All right. Have you heard of this, Nate? You're a very Disney family.
Yes.
Would you say that's an accurate assessment?
Yeah, I'd say that, and it's of course mostly in part due to my wife, who just loves all things Disney.
Okay.
That's right. Yes, and as by association, I have also
Right.
become a Disney fan. Yes.
Well, how often do you go to Disneyland?
Well, we used to go like every year.
Okay.
Since kids, not so much.
Okay, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
In fact, we've never taken our kids yet to Disneyland because, frankly, I don't want to drop $500 to have them
Yeah.
get tired after 2 hours and then
Yeah.
have to go back to the hotel.
I think what 7 or
I think
so. Is
6
a good,
or 7 is the right age
starting age.
to attempt that. So,
I'd say so, yeah.
But what about yourself? What about your family? I notice you have lots of Disney movies, but I don't think you live, eat, breathe, and well, not like we do it.
I'm,
but,
it's kind of funny. I'm actually probably more into Disney than my wife is.
I was gonna say, I think isn't that more of like an appreciation for kind of like the art?
Oh
of
yeah,
it,
well, because I love the man Walt Disney. As much as he hated the Jews, he was a great. Actually, I don't know that.
Allegedly.
I didn't see any Jews in Snow White, so
that's a huge allegedly.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Anywho, but yes, no, you appreciate him though for the man that he was, the creative genius that he was.
Oh yeah, I mean he's awesome. He's great, and I love collecting the old 30s, 1940s.
I saw those. That is whoa, your mic just completely went on the fritz. May want to tighten that up just a little bit.
Just a little.
No, I saw the comics that you had. It looked really cool. So
yeah, well, and I was talking about the cartoons and the from the.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All the original makings and all that stuff.
You have comics as well, though. Don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Good.
I got into Disney comics before I got into superhero comics and that kind of thing. That's how much of a nerd I am.
There you go.
And I'm really excited though because. Mason has been on this, as I've shared before, he's been on this turbo craze.
Yes, you said that was pretty much driving you crazy.
It's been driving me crazy. And he's gotten into Frozen, which, hey, it's different.
It is different. I saw Frozen.
Yeah.
I didn't see Turbo, but I saw Frozen.
Frozen was way better than Turbo, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I finally introduced him to Aladdin.
Nice.
And he loved it.
Nice.
He loved it. He wanted to watch it again.
That's an entertaining film
Yes.
that you can watch multiple times. And
yeah. I mean, that movie's got everything. It's got action. It's got humor.
Nice way to steer
it's got scantily clad ladies dancing.
Of course. That's what you want to introduce him to. No, way to steer the ship though towards more tolerable waters.
Yeah.
Is my
so
opinion.
I'm pretty stoked. I'm trying to get him onto. Maybe I'll get him into trying to draw the genie or Aladdin or something.
There you go.
So it's not just
nice.
Nothing but turbo. So, anyways, that leads to our pop drop, which is: have you heard of this site called Oh My Disney?
I did now.
Okay, so you're familiar with the, I don't know, BuzzFeed or, you know, those websites that are all just about,
yes,
just kind of either celebrity trash or just random,
just all sorts of
stuff that's just created
memes
for the sole
galore.
purpose of trying to, get lots of hits and go viral and stuff.
Exactly.
So Oh My Disney is a version of that. But everything has to be about Disney stuff.
Oh, okay.
And some of it's okay. And a lot of it is just stupid.
Okay.
So,
thanks for saving me some time.
So I provided a link in the show notes here, and it'll be in the show notes on our website at popmockers.com/25. And it's, here, this is just an example, but it's 10 times Cogsworth was over it. Cogsworth is great at lots of things, but hiding his true emotions is not one of them.
Wow. Cogsworth, of course, being the enchanted clock character
From Beauty and the Beast.
From Beauty and the Beast.
And all it is it's various screen shots from the Beauty and the Beast movie
Yes.
of Cogsworth the clock, and with a huge caption that says
getting abused.
"Over it."
Yeah, over it. Getting abused in each one in some form or another, right? I mean, that's kind of what's
Getting
going on.
scalded by Lumiere. Over it. Getting wound up by Maurice. Over it. It's just what
I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
It's stupid.
I don't. Did somebody have like an inside joke with a couple of friends and just decide to apply it to a Disney meme? I guess
They're like trying so hard to be cool with the teens and the tweens, and like, we're going to use the phrase "over it" and apply it to Beauty and the Beast.
So this shows how out of touch I am. Is over it like a thing? What
I don't
is
think
that?
so. I mean, that's like when you say, "Oh, I am so over it."
Okay. I didn't know if that was like just like a new trend or something.
It's just
I almost felt bad. How sad is this? I almost felt bad that I didn't know what the over it thing was. Like, I mean, I tutor high school students every week. I have not heard a peep about over it.
No,
understand.
it's just like when you say, "Oh, I am so over this job," or
but it doesn't make any sense.
Over the drama. And they're just like, "Oh, well, we're going to use this phrase that people sometimes say when they're talking about things."
So bizarre.
And try to turn it into something cool and trendy. And it's just, no, actually, you're wasting space on the internet.
Wasting bandwidth.
That's my attitude towards Oh My Disney as a whole.
Yeah, you're
wasting space on the internet.
If all the other ones are as good as this gem, I won't be spending a whole lot of time on the site, frankly.
Yeah, it's
My Disney.
It's pretty terrible.
Jeez. So, okay, well, thanks for pointing out that atrocity.
I have one more thing, and I wasn't sure where to put it, so I'm going to put it in this section.
Okay.
And it's a surprise.
What?
Today we are giving out prizes.
What?
Yeah, we are giving out prizes.
This is unprecedented.
It is unprecedented. So here's what I want you to do. If you are listening at home, and Nate, you can do this too.
Okay.
What I want you to do is I have hidden a prize under somebody's chair, and I want everybody to check under their seats. Just see if you find anything.
I wonder if it's gonna be me. I wonder if it's gonna be. I feel something.
All right.
Not to discourage anybody at home that's doing the same thing.
There might be more. You don't know.
Oh my goodness.
So
did you go around to people's houses?
I snuck into your house. April Fools.
That's disturbing. What is this?
Check it out,
dude.
Do you own that?
No, I don't own this. Are you seriously giving this to me?
I am giving that to you.
How sad is it that I'm actually excited about this?
Yeah, I paid good money for that, I'll have you know.
Well, I know. Why are you just giving me free movie? Okay, it's a movie. It is a Blu-ray.
Blu-ray and DVD combo.
Of the 80s classic Willow.
Yes. Isn't that a great movie?
What motivated you just to do this?
You want to know why?
Okay, yes, please. Please.
It's because you recently had a birthday, and I totally did not give you your present.
Dude, I don't care about that. You were able to come to the party. It was it was fantastic.
Hey.
Dude, this is wonderful.
So,
you know what? Willow, I have to admit, is a guilty pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
It's a guilty
awesome.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Willow is fantastic.
Well, I knew you would like it.
Dude,
so,
I would.
There you go.
Val Kilmer at his finest.
But wait, there's more.
What?
Okay, I have hidden another surprise.
This is ridiculous.
And this one, I want you to check the chair in front of you.
The chair.
And if you don't have a chair, you can check under the desk in front of you.
Oh my god.
So please, everybody listening at home, I'd like you to try and just see if you can find anything.
Dude, this is insane. Has anybody found anything yet? Because apparently I have. What is The Last Starfighter?
Yes. You've seen that, right?
Dude, how sad is this? I've never seen The Last Starfighter.
Dude, you need to see
Is it good?
It's classic.
Is it another 80s classic?
Oh, it's I mean, it's been years since I've seen it. I hardly remember it, but I
This is
was like, you know
wow.
what? This speaks Nate Henderson to me. So
Dude, this is awesome.
I think,
Thank you. I'm going to look forward to watching this.
I think you'll appreciate it.
Dude, thank you. That's very,
So-
hopefully you didn't drop a mint on
Happy,
everything. I appreciate it.
Happy belated
That's
birthday.
That's very sweet.
And better luck to our listeners at home. I'm sorry if you didn't. Win any
I'm
prizes.
sure. Maybe if you try tomorrow, something will materialize. I don't.
Yeah.
er.
There you go.
Thank you. That was great.
right.
That was great.
Moving on.
Why do they call it jumbo shrimp? I'm bored at home, just clipping my toenails. Anybody want to do anything tonight? I totally love
I'm
strawberries.
going swimming in my new Speedo. I know you guys are jealous. Hello.
Anybody want to join my hobby?
Facebook Police. This, of course, is the part of the show where we police Facebook for social network faux pas. And today we have an anonymous listener who submitted one. Before I get to that, it turns out one of our at-home listeners who's in the chat room, Christopher Battles, actually did find a prize.
That's awesome.
It was a sandwich from last week.
Oh, well, something like that can only get better. It's like a wine.
Yes. And speaking, you know what? Speaking of our chat room,
Yes.
if you there at home are just listening to the podcast and you're like, I like these guys so much, I want to sit at home and watch them on my screen as they're recording this podcast, you can do that on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. I realize that's super late for you East Coasters, but hey, we are worth it.
That's right. Where are you going to find better entertainment at 11:30 at night?
Nowhere.
Certainly not Jimmy Fallon.
So this was submitted from an anonymous listener, and they actually took the liberty of privatizing it, so I can actually include this screenshot
Ooh, I like it.
in our show notes, because all the personal information has been removed.
That is a beautiful photo.
Yes, so thank you very much. This is basically what this is somebody just uploaded a picture, basically. They were changing their cover photo, so they uploaded a new photo. Mm-hmm. Some random person comes along and comments on that photo and says, "We would love to have you and your family come to our church tomorrow," and then gives the church name and time.
There's a time and a place.
And it's not on somebody's Facebook picture.
No.
That's what your status is for. If you want to tell people about your church, you post it in a status. You can even invite them to like your church
That's right.
Facebook page. But you don't go around spamming people and trying to proselytize them. And apparently this person already has a church they're going to, they're happy going to.
Oh, so there you go.
And somebody's just like, you should come over to our church where we can teach you how to spam other people into coming to our church. So
That's a pretty picture of zebras on the African safari or the African plains.
Yeah.
There. By the way, our church has services at 8:30 and 10.
At
We're
least if they
located
did
here.
at least if they did a segue like that.
Even that I
That's
would
a beautiful picture of
even that I
of
would not.
striped animals. Speaking of stripes, Jesus was striped for your sin. I don't. Yeah. It just
Oh,
don't do
man.
that. Don't be that
Don't
person.
you dare do that.
Don't be that person. And I've seen that. This is the first time I've seen it for churches. I've seen it for lots of people doing it for MLMs and that kind of thing.
Right.
Just don't be that person.
Yeah.
If comments are for things that are on topic.
Right. That relate to what just happened.
Common sense, people. Common sense.
Good call.
All right.
Wake up, go to work. Work. Come home. Eat dinner. Rot your brain out. Go to bed. Lather. Rinse. Repeat. Are you tired of an old humdrum life? Tired of things that just weigh you down and depress you? Wouldn't you rather just focus on things that are awesome? Tune into Nutty Bites. Find out what's awesome. Nutty Bites. nimlas.org/blog.
Weekly topic. Yeah. This, of course, is the part of our show where we choose a topic and we discuss it. Right?
Doesn't get more deep than that.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And this week, that's exactly what we did.
This week was man, it just it dug some stuff up for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're
both good and bad.
Would you like to introduce this week's topic?
Well, if you like, yeah. We decided we were going to talk about some things that we would do differently if we had to live high school all over again. Mm-hmm. If we could go back and give our high school selves some advice, what would that be?
Yeah.
And so just you listening audience at home, take just a split second to think about the things that you would tell your high school self.
Yeah.
Some of you may still be in high school, so you can tell yourselves right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe you can learn.
Maybe you can take to heart the things that we're about to say.
We're about to say. So, okay. So, how do you want to do it, Count? Do you want to
let's take turns. Why don't you kick it off?
Okay. Well, one of the things I would definitely change about myself was my amazing fashion and hygienic processes. As far as that goes.
Do tell.
Well, I looking back at photos, I realize it was the mid to late 90s,
okay.
But that does not justify some of the hideous things I wore. As far as like shorts. Well, no, I take that back. Shorts, I couldn't tell if they were quite shorts or pants because they were too long to be shorts, but too short to be pants. And
okay.
it just,
so that's capris.
do you pretty much? I pretty much wore the equivalent of male capris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so
Interesting.
Yeah, and as far as we were talking about haircuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother cut my hair.
Okay.
Usually.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the case.
Yeah, same
and,
here.
You know,
yeah.
Bless my mother. She did her best, but darned if it didn't come off looking like a bowl cut half the time.
Oh, that's
so
rough, yeah.
looking at pictures of that too, yeah.
Well, and it would have helped if she hadn't actually used a bowl to cut around.
I thought that was odd.
Yeah.
I was like, we're about to eat popcorn in this. Could we maybe just keep it clean? And then I also realized in a lot of the pictures that I just apparently just refused to shave. I mean, as far as like, I was a late bloomer. It took me a while to really start getting the facial hair coming in, but that was the problem, is that I got some facial hair coming in.
Classic, yeah.
And I was not, I just figured, you know what? What's the point of shaving? I don't have a full beard. No. No. I had the little mustache, the very fine mustache going on. I had just random whiskers just like
bad.
sticking out. It's atrocious.
So bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
man.
I went back in time, I'd be like, hey, Nate, here's a Gillette razor. Here's a can of shaving cream. Have at.
Oh, man.
Because it's, yeah. And I met my wife when I was a junior in high school. Mm-hmm. And how she actually stuck with me, that is a testament to how much she must love me. So just based on my look and my fashion and my hygiene alone, I'm amazed.
Yeah, that's good.
I use deodorant, thankfully.
Okay.
There are some students that never even use
good.
deodorant, so
that's a plus.
I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I definitely have some similar ones. The first one on my list was stop being such a goody two shoes.
Oh, you were a goody two shoes, were you?
I was very much a goody two shoes. And you know what? There's something to be said for things like integrity and,
Right.
not cheating on your tests and homework and all that stuff. But,
Right.
But at the end of the day, I was just a little too much of a mama's boy. And honestly, I would like to just go back and just have a heart-to-heart with that, Chris, and just be like, hey, it's cool that you want to do the right thing.
Right.
But stop being such a geek.
Be a rebel just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And it doesn't have to be bad stuff, but just like, loosen up a little bit maybe. I had fun in high school, but I just, I don't know. Looking back, my attitude was very like, I'm gonna be this, self-righteous kid. And
question: I know you were homeschooled.
yeah,
Were you homeschooled? You weren't homeschooled through high school.
High school, I was going to a public school.
Okay, that's what I figured. So, all right.
Yeah.
So
that's why I started joining all kinds of gangs. And
the rampant drug use. Yeah, it was just.
the gang that I joined was the Christian Club.
Sure, and the drugs you were using were Sudafed, but I understand
And
it was
student government, but
man, you are a
rough
rebel.
crowds.
You're a rebel.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's see. One I have would definitely be my weight, because I was a larger lad.
Okay,
not
yeah.
huge, not huge, but I was chunky. I was stocky for sure. And trying to lose weight now compared to how easy
my
it was
gosh.
back then.
Yeah.
Okay, look, kids, for the kids that are listening, and by kids I mean anybody in your 20s, because I'm so much older than that now. When they say it gets harder and harder to lose weight when you get older,
Yeah.
they are not joking.
No,
When I was 16 in high school, all I had to do was think about losing weight, and I could see my stomach just start to close in. I didn't do that. That was the golden age when McDonald's had 39-cent
I
hamburger
remember
Sunday.
that.
You
yes.
remember that?
Oh, that was my lunch every
I
day.
abused that thing.
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's would hunker down because they know I'd pay a visit.
Nate's
and it was
coming.
just like
Had the cheese, had the ketchup.
I know. I'll take a dozen cheeseburgers, please. But no,
Well, my parents milked that.
This is when the economy was good and food was affordable.
Yeah.
It was, and believe me, they had crazy deals on burgers every single day of the week.
Yeah. And remember when Taco Bell got in on that too?
Dude,
They did like 39
remember,
cent
yes,
tacos
the commercial,
or-
59, 79, 99.
Yeah.
And then like you could take a $5 bill to Taco Bell, and instead
man.
of getting the 2 tacos you can get now, you could eat like a king.
You could eat
get
like a
10
king.
items
Yeah.
on that menu and just puke. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh my gosh. It was like
So I took full advantage of that, and if I had just made just the teensiest bit of effort, I could have been slim and trim. I saw pictures of my father playing basketball in college. The dude was just fit. I know I have the genes for it, but I chose to fill in my jeans just a little too much. So I would go back and smack my fat face and say, "Get a grip, man."
Mine was a little different because I was actually pretty thin in high school.
Okay.
And because I didn't eat anything. And I ate the most unhealthy stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like I'd have a bottle of Coke and Doritos would be like my lunch.
Dude, the soda.
And I don't even know if I would have breakfast.
This soda consumption was obscene.
Oh, so obscene.
It was obscene.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I drank the quantity of soda now
Oh my gosh.
that I drank back then, I would die.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
see that.
see how I would
See,
live.
that's what happened. Is like I got a desk job,
Oh yeah.
and then I'm like, I can still consume all the
Your
slushies
metabolism.
and sodas I want, and then bam! Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Yeah, I gained. That's
Dude,
when I
that's
gained so much
funny.
weight. Oh
That's
man,
so funny.
But I'd probably tell myself, just you're actually because my thing was like I never felt skinny, but looking
Sure.
back, I'm like, dude, you were freaking skinny.
Yeah, you were rail.
Yeah, and I
Like,
just
how did I do it?
tell myself, hey, take it easy. You're
My buddy and we had a summer job doing like roof canvassing, like offering people inspections.
We know all about the infamous,
I've told those
adventures
stories.
in roof canvassing.
But what was horrendous was, we were high schoolers, so we put very minimal effort into the whole job thing. So we'd start on a nice warm summer day. We'd start at 9 in the morning. No, excuse me, 10. Had to make sure we slept in.
Right.
Heaven forbid we actually start a job on time. Started at 10, finished at 12, and then we would hit Burger King for like their, like 100 hamburgers for a nickel deal.
Nice.
And then we would go to AM/PM and grab a 64-ounce soda. 64 ounces, I'll have you know, is the size of a 2-liter bottle.
Aww.
A 2-liter bottle. And we would do that every day. I drank a 2-liter bottle's worth, usually of Pepsi or Mountain Dew, some of the heavy hitters, every single day. And I wonder why I have blood sugar problems now.
My gosh. That is hilarious.
Anywho. So, let's see. Whose turn is it?
I think it's mine.
Okay.
I was just teeing off of yours.
Yeah, no, please.
So I would dress different, which I think you touched on a little bit.
Yeah,
I would dress totally different. The way it wasn't just like back in the 2000s. No, I dressed like an idiot.
So you didn't have the decade to justify your fashion. It was just poor dressing.
It was freshman year was the worst. I mean, looking back at the pictures there, I'm like, I was wearing like. I'm embarrassed to even talk about what I was wearing.
No, you have to.
But I was wearing like tan khakis.
Nice.
And a tan colored shirt.
Ooh, all tan. Monochromatic.
And it was it was bad. It was so bad.
That's awesome.
Finally my brother Johnny, who's like super stylish and just like he's He kind of
bucks the trend a little bit, doesn't he? He sets the trend
a little bit. Yeah, he's a little hipster, rock star, a little bit of all that. And so finally, he's like, "Dude, stop wearing tan shirts with tan pants." He like had a heart to heart with me about it.
Very serious sit down. You came home. The family was gathered all around the family room. They said, "Chris, it's just too much tan."
Yeah. It was bad. It was
all right.
It was really bad, and I thought it was so cool.
At least you had a brother that cared about you enough to call you on it, like to your face.
I gradually got a little bit better as I progressed through the grades. I think I was doing a little bit better by the time I met my wife, which was 10th grade.
Started incorporating some different earth tones and some black and some
I never really wore like logos, and I still really don't.
Okay. But, that's admirable,
and I'm okay with that. But.
That was my problem in high school. Too many logos.
Oh,
Quicksilver. No fear.
Yeah,
the list goes on and on and on and on. So, all right. Well, mine. I took a cue from the story you told me about your prom.
Okay.
I for all the big dances, I knew my wife. I mean, I knew we were together.
Yeah.
We were young love. We knew what we had was genuine.
You would have told yourself, just go to the Taco Bell drive-thru.
Yes! I have written down downgraded dances. Forget the tuxes, forget the dresses, forget dropping a ton of money on dinner.
Yes.
We both appreciated a fast food run. Why didn't we just go through the drive-thru and save a ton of money? Put it towards college, for crying out loud. You stupid kids. You drop hundreds of dollars on your prom, and you're not even going to remember anything about it.
Yeah.
But you will remember the student debt mountain that you have about to crush you. Sorry. That was a window into Nate's finances. No, but in all honesty, I would have downgraded the dances. There was just no point in spending the money. I love the idea.
The memories.
I love the idea before the dance going and just grabbing a couple bean burritos, and that's the life right now. That sounds like something we do now.
Yes.
Just
oh yeah.
Yeah. So
nice. I would say, Chris, get your freaking license. Because I waited way
Did
too
you wait a
long.
while to get
I
your
waited
license?
way too long to get my license. It's embarrassing how long I waited.
Yeah.
And
What do you
had to
think?
be
What do you think it was?
driven around and go places. Well, it kind of leads into my next one.
Okay, all right.
Which is I didn't have a job, so even if I had a license, I wouldn't really be able to afford the gas at
Sure.
that point and stuff.
Sure.
And I had an older brother
Okay.
who was not necessarily the best driver. And I was a little worried. I don't think I don't think I want to be in a situation where I'm like responsible for not smashing a multiple ton vehicle into another person. So
I don't think I feel safe with him.
so I mean, stuff like that, stupid stuff that
Jeez.
I don't know. I didn't
Okay.
and I all my friends had licenses and I
See-
was always with them, so I was just like whatever.
Now, see, with your siblings, you weren't the youngest.
No. I was in the middle.
You were kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
I was the oldest. And that
Yeah.
changes
I think so, yeah.
things as far as expectations for licenses. Because I wanted to get my license.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had to have it.
Yeah.
I just kind of went through the motions to get it,
Right.
And I was like, oh, I guess I got my license now,
Yeah.
But for me, I think my parents were really just like, he needs to get his license because he needs to drive
Right.
his brothers and his sisters
Oh, yeah.
around. I was in
Yeah.
a family of 4, not as big as yours.
Yeah.
But I still had brothers and sisters playing soccer and just all this other stuff that I'm sure my parents were so relieved that I could be the pass along taxi service.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much that was my incentive to get the license.
Yeah.
So,
That
very interesting.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. By the time it got to me that everybody else had their license or whatever. and
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I would have changed that.
I have written down I would tell myself to get more internet savvy. Because the internet in high school was still dial-up status. I mean,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
most part. It was
Yeah.
like you could get like a fast dial-up, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when like cable internet really came on the scene.
That
it was like
geez,
it
I
was like
remember
the
getting
early
DSL
aughts, I
around
think.
like 2001.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, that was a huge deal.
Yeah, so I graduated in 97. So if you could get a fast dial-up, that was and so it's like
You had AOL.
That's
you were
right.
set.
But like
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at all the websites that have made money off of just the most stupid premises.
Oh yeah.
The stupidest things.
Yeah.
And if I had just invested just a shred of my creativity
Yeah.
to getting familiar with webs and the web and the sponsors and all that other stuff, I could be making a mint right now. How hard would it be? How hard would it be?
How
to
hard
set
would
up
it be to
something?
make Amazon or YouTube?
Well, okay, there are exceptions. I didn't know code or anything like that,
Right.
but darn it, man. It's just like,
Yeah.
it just seemed like that late 90s was when you could just choose your website domain name,
Yeah.
and it just didn't matter. And
Yeah.
and if I had at least just invested in domain names like Disney.com,
Right,
I could have made a fortune. So I think if I had just been more tech savvy, I think I could have been able to maybe make a lot more money on the side while going through college. So anyway, what's yours?
Nice. Well, I think get a job was my last one.
Yeah, that was the last one.
So I was in high school. I was always in the school plays and stuff, and I wanted to
Nice.
have free time to do creative things and all
Okay,
that stuff.
question.
Yeah.
Based on your Facebook postings for your, I believe it was your reunion. I think
Okay,
you went
yeah.
to recently.
Yeah.
How many people were in your class?
Oh, not a lot. It
I was
was.
gonna say, was this super? So my question is because
Yeah.
I was in plays too, but
Yeah.
that was when they had auditions for a school that had like 500 people in them.
Right.
So I'm just curious, how did plays go in your school? I just thought of that, like
Yeah.
like how many people auditioned versus how many people got parts.
Well, see, that's a funny story.
Okay.
So I was the only person in my school. No, okay, that's
That's a stretch.
I'll say I was one of the only people in my school who could act.
Wow. I'm not that strong.
We were not a big school. It definitely wasn't as big as yours. Our graduating class was, I think, around 120 people.
Okay. So,
So not huge. We were a smaller school because we were like a business magnet, and we didn't really have much in the way of creative electives. We didn't have like a drama class. It was just a drama club.
Right.
So everything was after school.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I pretty much my auditions I pretty much got because
You ran that town.
I did. I was president of the drama club
You
for a little
ran
while.
that
even though
our town.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I was that's why I was just in all the plays because
Nice.
I cared about it.
Okay. And I
that
figured it
thing.
was something like that,
There were-
but I wanted to know. I had
Yeah.
to know.
There was 1 year
Oh dear.
because I actually didn't go to that school for my junior year.
What?
I didn't. I was like, I want more free time, so I'm going to do independent studies.
Oh, get out of here. You did independent studies for a year?
Yeah, just
I always dreamed of that.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
this going to school every day. But it was
not for
that
me.
wasn't that's actually another thing I would be like, Chris, you're being stupid.
just
keep
being
going to
like-
regular school because I stayed in touch and I ended up going to that school in the afternoons because I was still in the school play.
In the play. You had
And
to go
so
to
kind
audition.
of, and
You
so
had to go to
basically,
rehearsals.
what they did
Mm-hmm.
was they just had everybody who auditioned had some kind of role, or we had like multiple people playing the same role just
Sure.
on different nights,
Okay.
and that way, they were able to get some of the people who could act and
Okay. Just
who
to
weren't
say it.
necessarily attending
to
the
say it
school.
nicely?
Because it wasn't like you could be like, okay, Chris, you got the role. Sorry, Jimmy, better luck next time, even though you go to the school.
Yeah.
So
You're
there's
like,
actually...
he doesn't go to the school, but he acts way
Yeah.
better than you. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be kind of messed up, just a little bit.
and so there's actually another guy who from another school who went too. So I didn't feel as bad, like, but another guy who went to another school. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how it went for me. So no, I did not have to compete against 500 other people
Nice.
for the role. So
Nice.
So that says a lot more about you and not so much about me.
Yeah.
That you had to beat out 500 people.
I did. I had to
Nice.
fight for it. I had to
Nice.
fight for it. I'm sorry. You were talking about the John thing, but
yeah.
please continue.
Oh yeah, so
Okay.
I was just basically like I didn't get a job because I wanted time to do fun creative stuff, and so
Nice.
I surprisingly I had no money and no license.
Oh,
and
we were high schoolers.
I was a bit of a loser, so
Nonsense.
no. But I looking at myself now, I'm like, you were kind of a loser, Chris. So.
Yeah, no, I can honestly say that about myself. Like I said, it's a miracle I married the same woman I met in high school. So
Yeah.
The last one I have is just very quick, but I would tell myself to not buy so many dumb CDs. I bought so many CDs just off the fact that
Yeah.
I liked one song.
Oh,
This was not in the day and age when you could go onto iTunes.
Darn you,
and-
Evanescence.
And buy a single MP3 of a song
Right.
you really like because you just don't care about what they did for the
Yeah.
rest of the album. You had to buy the album. You had to buy
Yeah.
the entire album. I have so many 90s one-hit wonder CDs where I would listen to one song and
Hmm. Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I guess I'm done with that one.
yeah.
And I can't imagine if I added up all the money I spent on CDs that I listened to like once or twice and never listened to again, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
did you
true.
buy music or like were you into?
Yeah, I was all into music. Although I would sometimes, because I was in the student government, we would sometimes like play music, over the PA system during
Oh,
the
so you
lunch
got
hour.
to do the announcements or?
And so sometimes. Well,
Okay.
yeah, because I did
Oh,
all
man.
kinds of different stuff.
I'd
in student
abuse
government.
that.
It was fun, but everybody hated when I was in charge of the music because I hated rap and I hated country music. So I would play rock
Nice.
and I would play oldies. I would play like
And on the
I
rare-
would play like Sinatra.
And on the rare occasion, Michael W. Smith.
Yeah, I actually would. I'd sneak some like Lifehouse and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, people hated me for good reason. So that's yet another thing. I'd be like, Chris, play some varieties, not all about you jackass.
It's called a mix.
Yeah. So
Nice. All right. Well, that was painful.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez. Is it? Here's the thing. Like, are you ever just like, oh, no, I'm walking along, minding my own business, living life, and then all of a sudden, like, you just like get smacked in the face with just some random memory,
Oh, dude.
and you're just like, all
the time.
I hate myself.
All
I
the
want to
time.
go back in time and like
I know.
shoot myself in the head.
I know. I'll think back to like just the most random stuff, like in high school.
Yeah.
And then maybe like an opportunity knocked, and I just did something that just bombed.
Yeah.
And it truly is a curse. It's like the most awkward stuff is the stuff that you most vividly remember.
Oh yeah.
The most embarrassing, awkward, and it just sticks in your brain, and it just every now and then you'll be doing something not even related to it, just at work. Like, well, I guess I better enter this number into. Oh my gosh! I can't believe I said that to her.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I think everybody can relate.
Yeah.
So.
I guess to look at it philosophically, look on the bright side. The reason we have those memories, that the most vivid memories are the worst memories, because those are the ones that we learn from and grow us.
You had to get all.
Go. There's the moral of the story.
meaningful.
I know.
Jeez.
I
just wanted to
apologize.
wallow in my high school sorrow for a while.
I know.
No, you're always uplifting.
I know. Yeah. Especially as you'll hear in our closing song.
Speaking of which,
So thank you very much for joining us for this episode of Pop Mockers. As always, special thanks to my brother Johnny Cowan and the Royaltons for our intro and outro music. Guess what? The Hank and Hal Show is back. If you remember that from the No Show podcast days, Hank and Hal are back in their very own podcast. It's short, scripted comedy. You can check them out at hankandhal.com. Check out breakroomstudios.com. We got fun stuff going on there. We've got actually more podcasts and video projects in the works. And what would you do differently in high school? What would you do if you could go back and talk to your high school self and talk some sense to them? What would you say to them? Leave a comment on our show notes at popmockers.com/25. And sponsor a show for only $5 per episode. It will help us to keep bringing you this top quality, humorous content. We'll read your name and a message on the air. All our contact information is on popmockers.com. For comics, videos, and more original and entertaining podcasts, visit breakroomstudios.com.